What happens when the pursuit of knowledge crosses the line into nightmare? Throughout history, scientists have conducted experiments so bizarre, so unsettling, that they sound more like horror stories than real events. From severed heads kept alive to twisted mind control programs, these are 10 creepy science experiments that actually happened, and they'll make you question just how far science can really go. Science is meant to push boundaries, uncover truths, and improve our lives. But sometimes the quest for discovery takes a disturbing turn. History is filled with experiments so unsettling that they blur the line between innovation and horror. Today, we're uncovering 10 creepy science experiments that actually happened, real stories that will leave you questioning how far humanity is willing to go in the name of knowledge. Science is often seen as the pursuit of knowledge, discovery, and progress, but history has proven that curiosity can sometimes lead down a darker path. Behind the bright lights of innovation are experiments that blur the line between brilliance and horror. Today, we're diving into 10 creepy science experiments that actually happened, and they might just make you question how far humanity is willing to go in the name of discovery. Imagine being in the 1920s, when Russian scientist Sergei Brukhonenko created the auto-resuscitator, a primitive heart-lung machine. To test it, he decapitated dogs and kept their severed heads alive, responding to stimuli like sounds or touches. The sight of a living, blinking head without a body haunted witnesses for years, but it also laid groundwork for modern life support machines. In the 1940s, a chilling U.S. government experiment called the Aversion Project took place. Doctors gave prisoners powerful drugs and exposed them to disturbing images in an attempt to control human behavior and curb undesirable tendencies. Victims often suffered trauma that lasted a lifetime. The idea of using fear and chemicals to manipulate the mind wasn't just creepy, it was cruel. Then there's the story of the Stanford Prison Experiment in 1971, when psychologist Philip Zimbardo recruited students to act as guards and prisoners in a fake prison. What was supposed to last 2 weeks spiraled out of control in just 6 days. The guards became abusive, the prisoners broke down emotionally, and the line between reality and role-play disappeared. It revealed how easily ordinary people can descend into cruelty when given power. Even darker was Japan's infamous Unit 731 during World War II, where scientists performed gruesome experiments on humans, exposing them to biological weapons, amputations without anesthesia, and extreme temperatures. The horrors committed under the guise of research remain some of the most disturbing in scientific history. Creepy experiments weren't limited to humans. In the 1930s, Soviet scientist Ilya Ivanov tried to create human-ape hybrids by inseminating female chimps with human sperm. The bizarre quest to create a super-soldier hybrid failed, but the thought that it was attempted at all is disturbing enough. Equally unsettling is the monster study of 1939, when researchers experimented on orphans to test how stuttering developed. Half the children were praised for speaking well, while the others were harshly criticized, even when speaking fluently. The negative group developed lifelong speech issues and trauma. Imagine the cruelty of planting insecurity in children just to study their speech. Then there's the Milgram obedience experiment in the 1960s, where volunteers were told to administer electric shocks to others for wrong answers. Although no one was actually shocked, the participants believed they were causing real pain. The fact that most people obeyed orders to inflict harm shocked the world and showed how authority can push ordinary individuals to commit disturbing acts. In the 1800s, Giovanni Aldini, a nephew of the discoverer of galvanism, performed electrical experiments on executed criminals. He applied currents to corpses, making their bodies twitch, eyes roll, and even limbs jerk as if reanimated. Crowds who witnessed it believed they were watching the dead come back to life. It was science bordering on horror. The CIA's infamous MK Ultra program during the Cold War also belongs on this list. In secret, the agency experimented with LSD and psychological torture on unsuspecting citizens, hoping to find ways to control the human mind. Victims had their sanity shattered in the name of espionage. The project was later exposed, but many of its victims never fully recovered. Finally, one of the strangest was the head transplant experiments of Dr. Vladimir Demikov in the 1950s. He surgically grafted the head and front legs of one dog onto another, creating a two-headed creature. Both heads could eat and drink, though they didn't survive long. While this research influenced organ transplantation, the image of a living two-headed dog still feels like something from a nightmare. Science has given us medicine, technology, and progress, but these experiments reveal its darker side. They're reminders that knowledge without ethics can cross into terrifying territory. Curiosity may drive discovery, but it's also a force that, when unchecked, can produce some of the creepiest chapters in human history. From bizarre mind control projects to horrifying medical tests, these experiments remind us that science without ethics can become terrifying. They show us just how thin the line is between discovery and disaster. Which of these experiments shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to explore more creepy stories from history and science, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this.